All right, welcome back, folks. We're on our next segment, and I have Billy Dimes right here. He just wrapped making a documentary called Solo, which I'll let him handle that. And then we have Danny here that she's going to tell. You were one of the not characters, but one of the people. You're a real person.
I am one of the characters.
Yes, we're all characters, right?
Featured artist, maybe.
Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about Solo. So why don't you fill us in, Billy?
Yeah, Solo is a documentary that I've been working on for 2 years now. I produced it right here at MetroEast Community Media. Love MetroEast. It was just something that I've always been into creating and making things, and documentaries in particular. You know, I'm just that's my go-to form of, I don't watch a whole lot of scripted stuff because sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like I'm not getting anything from it.
Yeah, there's tons of Marvel movies. You've seen one?
I have not seen one. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out, but this is just. But I took a class here on documentary filmmaking, and I met Mark and Elora Rennie, who were teaching the class, and I kind of went up to them afterwards and I said, hey, I have an idea for a documentary. Can I buy you some coffee? Maybe I can tell you about it and you can tell me if it's good or maybe, not. And so I met with them and they said, that is a great idea. Talked to them about, I am a one-man band, and looking into, the history of the one-man band kind of made me feel like a kinship, and I saw the lineage, and I felt, like, oh, okay, like I'm the newest version of this thing that's been going on since the 13th century, and it's just never been documented. There's not a whole lot about it online. There's never been a documentary. There's not really books about it, but yet it's been around probably since the beginning of time, really. If you think about it, if you define one-man band as one person playing more than one instrument, it's probably been around forever. So I just said, wow, well, this is an interesting subject, and I kind of got engrossed in it, and I love those old guys that do the traditional, because it's so creative,
Yeah. So tell me how you got involved in this, Danny.
I got involved, I think, through a mutual friend, right? Skip?
Skip Von Kusky.
Skip Von Kusky, for those who don't know about him, he is also a one-man band, a cellist who's fantastic. And he, I think, recommended me to Billy, and then Billy and I just got together and found that we had a lot of things in common, and did the doc, and then kind of struck up a friendship from there. And yeah.
So you technically broke the one-man band rule, but one-man bands can interact with each other. That's legit.
It's strictly personal. We don't ever play music together.
That's
just
good.
kidding. I'm just joking, actually.
I couldn't call you that anymore. So what is it about both of you? You're a one-woman band, one-man band. What is it that resonates about doing it all yourself? Because I'll tell you, as a filmmaker, like, that's hard work. Like.
Yeah.
I think, we've all been in bands, and almost every one-man band that we've interviewed, for this doc has been in bands for not just one, but many, for years. And as anyone in a band can tell you, it's hard work. It's hard work, and especially the older you get and people start having, more strict schedules, with kids and careers and everything, it becomes harder to gather 3, 4, 5 other people in the same room. And a lot of us, one thing that we talk about in the doc is that a lot of us, when we were in bands, we're kind of like, let's say like the leaders of the band. We were the ones who were like, calling everybody and rounding everybody up and kind of pushing and making stuff happen. And after a while, that starts to grind on you when you feel like you're pushing people or pulling people. Yeah. And I think the same thing happened, to Danny as did happen to me when we found the loop station, which is what our performance is kind of based around. We both stumbled on Skip. I walked into a bar one night in Portland at Rock Bottom and saw Skip playing, and he was looping stuff. And right there, I said, "Oh, okay, this is what I need, you know, because you can really be a one-man orchestra, one-woman orchestra. You don't have to, you know, as much as I love, not taking anything away from being in a band. I love being in bands. It's a great experience. But it's also can be a challenge, you know.
Danny, has that been your experience, or what made you gravitate towards?
I came to it from more of a physical need. I was injured several years ago, and so I lost full usage of one of my arms, and so I just needed to find a way to still be able to write and play my music with just the one hand, and so the loop station was the way that I could do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, using a keyboard and a looper instead of a saxophone, which was my original instrument, and then also playing in bands and going about doing that stuff too. But like you both have said, it's just a lot of work, and when you're doing it by yourself, when you're doing the one man or one woman band, you can take as much time as you want, and you're on your own schedule. So you can take as much time as you want to write. You can practice at all hours of the night. You can, you know, really put in the time that you feel like the piece or the set deserves. And then you're kind of more compact too. You know, you're smaller, so you can fit into all different kinds of venues as well.
So is that going to be like a new form of physical therapy? Is like if you've injured yourself, try out the one-man band. It's
tried and tested. It works.
Her story, you know, I'd like to just throw in.
Yeah.
Her story, before Danny came on board, it was kind of like a bunch of guys talking shop, and just, you know, this is what I do, and this is da-da-da, and Danny came with this story that is really very inspirational, and just says a lot about, you know, just perseverance, and, you know, and it kind of gave the documentary like a whole new, like a soul, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like before that, we were just kind of talking about, the history, and, you know, Dick Van Dyke, and, you know, and Mary Poppins, and then, you know, it kind of changed at that point. You know, and it really gave the documentary some more depth, because what she went through.
Turning point, right?
Yeah, and she it sounded to me like she's, you know, downplaying a little bit, but she was crippled. You know, she could not move her arm, and you know, so the loop station let her still make music.
So tell me about like what. I'm pretty sure I know what a loop station. It is the thing with the square buttons that look like Simon, like that old Simon game that light up, and it's like, all you need to do is press the buttons and repeat. But tell me a little about the loop station.
Well, we actually use the same one. But yeah, so what the loop station does is it basically, you can pick whatever instrument your heart desires, or your voice or whatever, and just kind of put it into the machine. Make it as long or as short as you want, layer up on top of it, then add other buttons and other effects onto it to then make other sections, which you can then like put in, take out. Basically, you're your own conductor at that point. That's cool. It is pretty cool.
Are both of your backgrounds in music, or, you know, how did you get into the music?
I've been in music since I was a teenager, and for about 20 years, I was a producer. I worked with a lot of hip hop artists, and I've been in bands. You know, I kind of listen to everything, so I kind of play everything. You know what I mean? But the majority of my time has been studio work.
Very good.
Annie?
I was a classically trained musician, so I played from the time I was, as long as I can remember. Went to music school, did all that, and taught and performed after school, and then went back, got a nursing degree, and kind of did both after that. So I can't remember a time where I wasn't playing music.
Yeah. Do you find it, or let me ask you this, what do you find satisfying about it?
About playing music?
Yeah, what is it that seems like you guys enjoy it?
For me, lately I've become a live performer, and I started playing out, and that's not what I do for a living. I've been performing live for about 5 years, but for me, my favorite part is being alone and the meditative aspect of it. You know what I mean? Because it is very healing. You know, it is. Music has always been there for me. You know, it's just been that constant in my life. That one thing, I've gone through other phases and things in my life, but I got my first guitar when I was in a group home when I was 15 years old. They gave us some personal money, and I went to a pawn shop. They brought me to a pawn shop in the big van, and I got a guitar and an amp, and that was just saved me.
That sounds like a good investment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
For me, a lot of that resonates with me as well, which is I think why we become friends. But for me, music is kind of one of those pure things, like any of the arts, that it doesn't take anything from you ever. It just is only there to give. And you know, music is there. It's love. And the world always needs more love, and so
More do we ever.
right. So it's just kind of one of those things. I think it's actually kind of a recycler as well. So you can take, you know, unfortunate circumstances or you know, bad feelings or bad situations, and you can kind of process it through your own musical process and either turn that into something more loving and joyous through your own performance or through your own writing, and you know, take something ugly and make it beautiful again. So again, it's just kind of a thing that takes nothing and gives everything.
It gives a.
All right. On that note, why don't we watch the trailer and see a little bit about what you guys are talking about. We're going to cue this up, and I'm just going to kind of wait for the control room to get it ready, but I'm excited. I want to see the whole thing, but maybe we could roll that trailer if we're ready.
I think one of my first experiences with a one-man band was back in Butte, Montana. And I wandered into this, there was a bar in this strip mall, and there was this one guy up on this 6x6 stage that sat about 5 feet off the main floor, and he had things attached to both feet, both arms, and he had things strapped around his neck and his head. It was atrocious.
Just me, couple of hands, couple of feet, all working together to entertain you.
I think initially people think novelty, they think Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke.
It's a lot of work. I think not the average people can do this.
Inventing a new musical instrument from scratch.
Feels so expansive. I mean, there's no end to being a one-man band.
Expansive, such a good word.
Wow. All right. That was really cool. I want to watch it. So where and when can I watch that?
The screening will be on March 10th at 6 p.m. here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham. Is it 8th and Cleveland?
It's 8th and Cleveland. It's 829 Northeast 8th Street. Gresham, or if I've heard it called before now, G-Ham, Oregon, 97030.
I think I made that up, by the way.
Did you do
I
G-Ham?
think so, yeah.
I heard it from a high school kid. So
I don't know, maybe it got
It's a
around.
thing.
You've been around longer, though. Okay, so that's awesome. Real quick, why don't you tell me about sort of the support that you got from MetroEast to work on this?
Oh, man. I don't know where to start. I came to Gresham when I, just kind of trying to find my way, and I was at a function at a school, and Monica Hines Weitzel was there, and she had set up some information at a table, and I walked over and introduced myself. What do you got going on here? she explained to me, okay, so you can make your own TV shows, you can do, production, you can do, we have classes, we have, and it just blew my mind. I didn't know that this type of thing existed. I just didn't know. And so eventually made my way down here, and this project wouldn't have happened without MetroEast. And on top of that, I've brought my daughter in, and she's become a part of MetroEast, and she's totally into it now. She comes without me, which is awesome.
And she did our music video camp. I got to meet her.
Music
Very
video
cool.
camp. Yeah, it's just such a awesome thing for the community, for people that have something to say and no way to get it out there, because the entertainment industry is really very seemingly like a big machine, and and this gives people a voice that may not otherwise have a voice.
We're about to close here. If and you guys can both say a little something about why should people come to your opening and watch One Man Band?
Well, you could probably tell from the trailer, a lot of love and work went into making the film. I think people will get to see a lot of different kinds of musicians, a lot of different types of one-man bands, also just really cool history and footage, and it'll just be fun. And the movie's just beautifully done.
I think one-man bands are really, at the end of the day, just a testament of DIY. And,
Yeah.
just, no matter what, if it's being in a band or anything else in life, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's better to just grab the ball and run with it, like a lot of these guys are doing and have been doing for a long time now.
All right. Well, you guys heard it from these two. So One Man Band coming up. You can check out your website. What is it?
We're on Facebook under solo. Well, you can do solo-doc, and that you will find the Facebook. But my website is William Spillette, SPILLETTE.com, and that's kind of the hub for everything that I do.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have to go here. I'm filling in for Monica Weitzel. I'm Seth Ring, but it's been really great talking to all of our guests tonight. And thanks, Will, and thanks, Danny, for coming. We'll be seeing you guys again next week. And if you guys, we have a great play to go to, and we have a great movie to go check out. So please come and watch. Night-night.
Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels. And by Stamp Connection. MetroEast values the support of our partners in the community, and we'd like to give a very special thanks to the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Every week on Community Hotline, we highlight the great work of local nonprofits in our area. And now you can also see us on our live Facebook feed, 7 p.m. every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. So tune in and find out what's going on in your community.